So the first thing that some people are going to do is just burn their hands, and now they've lost 100% of their dexterity. You're not going to be able to do too much with opening doors with your feet. And if you have a family member who's in a room behind a scalding hot door, what are you going to do? So you can do it the hard way and try to break the door down, or you can put on a glove and turn the handle. So welder's gloves, you can get them on Amazon. Warmth, obviously less of a concern for our climate, but it eventually will be a concern, especially these bags have to be ready for any month of the year. And these are things that are an example of something that's very compact. It gives you benefits that are exponentially greater than its physical size. So these are mylar reflective ponchos, parkas. So you can get 1 4-pack, so you have one for each of your family, and they reflect the heat back onto you. They work extremely well. So the advantage to this is that you can carry a much lighter sleeping bag because now you're using the heat that you're generating and reflecting it back onto yourself. You can also use this as a signaling device because it's very reflective, and you can wrap it, underneath your base layer, underneath your clothes as you're walking, so you can carry much lighter clothes. So before marathons, you sometimes see runners wearing just trash bags because it's just millimeters thick, but it preserves an incredible amount of body heat. So use every inch of your pack to the most extreme benefit. Derive as much benefit as you can. And then this is a portable stove. So these are fire blocks, and this folds up into about the size of a deck of cards. So this is one of the things that you got to be a little careful with because it's not replenishable. These are very small. They will last about 15 minutes, but it'll allow you to boil water, cook food. This takes up very little space, so it's worth keeping. Another advantage to something like a rocket stove, which also is collapsible, a rocket stove allows you to use any of the unlimited supply of combustible material. The twigs, anything that ignites, you can cook with a rocket stove. And once you light it once, you can keep it going basically infinitely as long as it's fed. People take turns feeding it. So now you have warmth. You have, it actually doesn't even give you smoke because it reburns the heat. So that's a link I have if you're curious about this. All right, now this, going into water real quick, this looks like a Nalgene bottle, but it has a filter built in. So any non-salt water, non-chlorinated body of water you can drink from. And a fish tank is better than a swimming pool. A koi pond is better than a swimming pool because a koi pond is actually pretty useful because you have several benefits in one. You can judge the health of the water by the koi. I know from personal experience, because I killed all my wife's koi, that they are very delicate. So the fact that they're not dead is a good sign that the water is good. And I've drank out of the koi pond, not because I got relegated to the backyard, but because I wanted to show that it tastes fine if you filter it. So this is similar to a life straw, just with the added benefit that you can carry the water with you. And there's no way for the water to get past your lips or splash onto you like there might be with a life straw, because it has to be suctioned through that out the straw. Sleeping bag for warmth. Sleeping bag is better than just a blanket because, oh yeah, so good question. So there's 2 types of swimming pool water. There's salt water and there's non-saltwater pools. If it's a non-saltwater chlorinated pool, if you get a dechlorination filter, such as a Berkey filter, you can strip the chlorination from it and drink from it. So if you have a non-saltwater pool, you have probably an unlimited supply of water. Now the chlorine is actually going to start to die out after just a few weeks, and then you'll start to see algae blooming, but that's far less of a problem. The chlorine is what needs to be stripped out. And the tolerance, like the FDA tolerance for chlorine, is a lot higher than you think. I mean, there's chlorine in our drinking water. So the reason why they sell Berkey filters for daily use, which my wife and I drink from, we use for our coffee or for everything, is that there is chlorine in our municipal water. There's also surprise problems where there's been multiple instances throughout the last 5 years in this country where it wasn't the authorities telling their water customers that the water's a problem. It was the other way around. It was a customer saying, like, this smells funny, this tastes funny. And Imperial Beach, there was a problem just last year. And obviously in some of the Navy bases, it was jet fuel getting in. So if you just get in the habit of drinking your water through an overkill filter, you're not going to find out that the water is toxic the hard way. You're going to find out from a tweet. So the compressed stuffed sack sleeping bag, it's about, this, I'm sure I've probably eaten larger burritos. So it's very small, and you can get away with that if you have the ability. Oh, yeah, Tuck's got to go. So Tuck, okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to have to take a hard break. If people want me to continue, I happily will. I just want a few you guys to guess what Tuck's bag weighs, right? So this will be a way for you to connect what something like the perceived weight and the actual weight. So, all right, we got 15, 30, 25, 35. All right, so 18 pounds, 14 ounces. So it's actually even less than we thought. So I think you still win. All right, so the point is, like, it feels a lot heavier than just 18 pounds. So keep that in mind if you're going to start building a bag that can easily get up to 100 pounds. You have to constrain yourself, and that's why it's not just what would be nice to have, it's what you need to have. And lastly, the advantage of having separate bags is that they have separate purposes. You can keep them in separate locations. So a car bag should always just be in your car. That can be like a get home bag. And that obviously has unique needs. You should carry a portable jump starter in that. And I've used that at least 15 times over the last 5 or 6 years. Whenever you see that, symbolic hood up, waiting for a jump, waiting for a tow truck, you can ruin your electrical system by jumping a car. And you could be in a position where you're out of cell signal and AAA can't even reach you. There's no reason not to have a portable jump starter for your car. That should be in your automotive bug out kit. You can get them at Costco, and they also double as a USB charger for your phone, for all your USB devices. So that's why if you can isolate, especially if you can get a kid's bag for your kids to carry, that's all the better. All right, so I'm going to take a break here, and thank you for coming. And that's today's presentation. Okay.